10 minutes and 35 seconds. Don't leave your radio. Listen as carefully as you can, because you're going to take part in an experience you've never had before and probably will never have again. You are going to fly a B-29 mission over the mainland of Japan. Now, when you listen to this Army Wire recording of what's happening, remember that this is the real thing. There was no rehearsal, no carefully planned script, no prearranged dialogue and sound effects, but a true report of exactly what took place. When the combat reporter speaks of flak, you'll know that at that very moment it was cutting the sky around him, real and hard and deadly. When he speaks of enemy fighters closing in, you'll know that he could look over his shoulder and see them circling for the kill. The plane is the city of Muncie, and the pilot, Lieutenant Frank Crowcroft. The next voice you hear will be AAF combat reporter Staff Sergeant Hal Brown as the B-29 flies over the mainland of Japan, approaching its target.
While we're moving in on the target of Japan, I should like to say this is a daylight mission and the weather is crystal clear. Our bombardier, Lieutenant Charlie Henderson, is all smiles with expectations. We are now 2 minutes to the bomb run. No fighters, no flak as yet. Weather remains crystal clear, a beautiful sunny day. We have observed some surface craft and some inland waterways here. Through the right window, I can observe a portion of a Japanese coastline. It's a peaceful, pastoral scene. 1 minute to our bomb run. No flak, no fighters as yet. Things are too peaceful and we are uneasy. Tension among the crew is high, but everyone is calm. We're moving closer to our bomb run now. One unidentified plane at 2 o'clock low has just been reported by our tail gunner, Staff Sergeant Wolf. Our bombardier is getting ready now. Everything has been cleared. Moving on the bomb run, he's huddling over that intricate instrument in front of it. And I can look out my compartment window and see that unidentified plane. We are, by the way, on the bomb run at the present time. The unidentified plane is some distance off, lower than our line of flight, however, keeping up on a parallel speed with us, probably using his plane as radio to radio our position. Altitude and speed. We are now on the bomb run. As yet, our bomb bay doors have not opened. Our giant bomb bay doors have just yawned open. This is it. We're starting in. Our aircraft commander, Lieutenant Frank Crowcroft, is holding her on course while our bombardier gets ready. Everyone is tense. Straight course into target. An unidentified plane, a fighter, is still tagging along parallel with us. Up ahead, I can see puffs of ack-ack coming up. Black puffs of smoke straight ahead. We're moving into it. A fighter has been reported at 1 o'clock. We're holding our course on our bomb run. Another fighter has been reported at 2 o'clock high Now he's at 3, high. Our bombardier is crouching over this delicate instrument now. Everyone is holding course. To my right, I can see puffs of ack-ack still coming up, also straight ahead. We are running into a curtain of anti-aircraft fire at the present time. And our ship is jockeying now as we move into it. It's getting a little rough. A fighter is coming in at 4. Bombs away! Bomb bay doors are closing. That's Spurt. That's us answering the fighters. There is a fighter at 11 o'clock. As you hear this plane jar in our microphone, it's our gunners going after the fighters coming in. We are trying now to dodge the anti-aircraft fire. Another burst from our guns. Another fighter, 4 o'clock high. Our tail gunner is after him. I can feel the jar in this plane. Anti-aircraft fire is all around us now. A fighter is high at 3. Our bombardier has put his instrument away and is now manning guns in front. A fighter is coming in at 4 o'clock high. I am reporting this as I hear it on the intercom. There's another burst from our guns. A fighter coming in at 7 o'clock, a fighter, and at 7 o'clock, 11. Our bombardier is getting the sight on him. We're still riding it out. We're over our target. We've dropped our bombs and we're moving. Anti-aircraft fire is still around us. There's another burst. A fighter at 11 o'clock hot. At 11 o'clock high, and our bombardier moves around now.
They got him.
We got him. There goes one. We got him. On that last burst, we got a fighter. There's a fighter at 9 o'clock. There comes a fighter at 1 o'clock. Fighter coming in at 4 o'clock low. We expected it on this one. We're getting it. One at 4, one at 3. Those are fighters reporting in. They're holding off now. They're not coming in. There's one at 6 o'clock right below us. He went right in front of us down here, but he was out of range. Our aircraft come in. There's another burst. That one that cut across in front of us. A fighter at 3 o'clock level. There's a fighter smoking off to our right. We don't know whether we got him or not, or who got him, but he's smoking. That fighter I spoke about a little while ago, hanging along parallel with it. That was our bombardier. That was our bombardier in front on a burst. Fighter just made a pass at us directly ahead, but turned away before he got in range. There's some up here at 9 o'clock reported by our gunners. A squadron of fighters. Here comes one turning in. No, he decided to turn away. We're still over Japanese territory. There goes a fighter to our right, spiraling down, smoking. About 28 fighters have been reported by our waist gunner at 9 o'clock. They haven't as yet come in. Our left waist gunner, Sergeant Seago, says that those 3 flights of fighters are still hanging on. 3 flights of fighters are still hanging on our wingtip to the left. We're still waiting. They haven't as yet come in, although they look like they're coming. That flight of about 30 Jap bombers, or Jap fighters rather, are still hanging on. About 30. We're just passing over the Japanese coastline again and out to the open sea, and that water looks awfully good. We want to put miles and miles between us and the Japanese islands right now. Those fighters over to our left that I talked to you about a moment ago are not coming in. We're passing away. We can see the waves lapping up on the shores down below us, and we're heading out to the open sea. Those planes we saw a moment ago that we thought was a fighter element turned out to be some of our own 29s, and how welcome they look. We're now putting miles between us and the Japanese coastline. Our 29 is functioning beautifully, smoothly as we streak away toward the Marianas. And that's our mission completed. This is your AAF combat reporter returning you now to the United States.
You have just listened to one of our B-29s actually bombing Japan. It may now be told that the gunners on that plane, the city of Muncie, personally accounted for at least 3 of the Jap planes you heard shot down. That mission covered a distance of 3,400 miles and took 17 hours to fly. Their bombs fell squarely on industrial Japanese targets, and then the superfortress and all its crew returned safely to their base in the Marianas. Listening to this historic broadcast with you in the Blue Network studios in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco are some of the wives and mothers of the city of Muncie's crew. Here in the Los Angeles studio is Mrs. E.F. DeVessy, mother of Lieutenant Robert Smith, the navigator who put the city of Muncie on its course and held it there.